Hey all, back again at the table. The workstation, the desk. Anyway, new project, kind of working away on. This is the, what the hell is it? AUTOCAR A64B. Some of you probably knew that before I finally got around to saying it. But yeah, it's an AUTOCAR A64B AMT truck. I'm on the truck bandwagon. We're gonna have red and black, kind of a show truck here. We're gonna doll this one up a little bit. We're gonna do some some sparkle. So the truck is under construction. I think I'm gonna hinge the hood. Let's see how this looks. There we are. So only one side is going to lift, the other one's going to be glued in place. This side and its side panel will just be glued in. This one will be hinged, and the side panel hinged to the top panel. And hopefully we'll end up with something that opens. I don't know. We're going to try. If it doesn't work out, well, we'll just glue it all shut, won't we? But I've got a hole drilled here, and I'm going to drill one into the firewall, roughly in the middle of the firewall. We'll measure it out and figure out where it goes. So what I'll do is we'll put the grill on last, so this will all be inserted up into the firewall, right? The other side will be glued on. And then the last thing, when I go to attach this to the frame, we'll attach it to the front of the frame here, tilt it up, and insert the pin as we tilt it up, and that should capture the hood. That's the plan anyway. That's how it should work out. We'll see. I'll keep you. I'll make a video. You know, we'll do the thing. So all this is a straight pin right along the edge of the center section of the top of the hood, carefully eyeballed by yours truly, to hopefully end up in a spot where it'll function. I'm going to have to leave a little bit of a gap between the two pieces so that this one can rotate up. As you can see, the pin is slightly behind the seam, which means as it tilts, it's going to want to roll this way into the other hood. So we'll have to probably just leave a slight gap. I'm hoping not much more than a 32nd of an inch, something I can use a business card or a piece of cardstock of some thickness to ascertain when I go to glue this on to the body. Right? Paint scheme again is red and black. That is a red top, black on the hood, red sides, black fenders. So these parts here will be cleaned up and painted black, and then the rest of the truck will be red, and then all of our furnishings around the truck are going to be chrome painted. This is a nice bright chrome paint that I get. It's a Krylon. I have to go on very thin coats, especially an initial coat. Can't lay it on thick initially because it does stuff, but it's kind of a strong paint. But I primer everything first with Tamiya surface primer, and then we sand with 1000 grit paper, and then we lay on the following color coats. Always primer. Love to use primer because you can sand it. It removes any of the blemishes or imperfections in the plastic that you might have put there during assembly. It also, helps paint adhere better to the plastic and to the parts. So we always use primer. This is gunship gray. I use this often as a replacement for black. It's a very dark gray. If it's the only representation you're using of black, it looks like a faded black, like a sun faded or a time faded black. At least to me, and that's why I use it. I use it on dashboards. I use it in aircraft cockpits. Fighter planes normally will sit out on a tarmac, during the day, and all the black fades to this color over time. So I like to use this one if I'm thinking of a faded black. It's gunship gray. It's Tamiya TS48. Anytime you need a faded gray, a weathered gray, gunship gray, or a faded black, gunship gray is the color. Okay, so I've already got the had to put the radiator shroud inside of the radiator long before the plan called for it. And when you're painting, detail painting, or when you're detailing models going off of script, oftentimes you're changing the order of assembly. And when you change order of assembly, sometimes you can put yourself in a bind. So you have to be careful. You have to kind of know, what preceding steps it is that you're jumping over, and then making sure that that's not going to cause any fit problems afterward. So, you always want to go through the diagrams and the instruction sheets thoroughly, as they all say. Most instruction pamphlets now will tell you to go through them first, and it's not just to familiarize yourself with what you're going to be doing. That's a good enough reason anyway. But for those who are more experienced modelers who want to do something different with the kit, it's also a very good idea for you to do that as well, for those reasons. So I have this on here as part of my plan to fit the hood, a working opening hood. And so that's also why the cab floor bottom pan is painted, and the firewall. And again, I use that gunship gray for a faded weathered black. And this part just fits over the face of the pan like so. And this will come in handy when it comes time to do the locating where we're going to drill that hole for the hinge pin. And we'll have to get it set up and set on the truck and figure all that geometry out as we move toward that portion of assembly. We want to make sure we have everything located where it needs to be. What else? On this chrome paint, I've got the tanks painted. Hold on. Not completely painted, but I got the chrome on it. So the tanks, because they're going to be chrome tanks with red straps, I had to paint the chrome first. Much more difficult to mask these thin straps and brackets than it is to just wrap around the barrel with the tape, mask the barrel, and then just leave the straps exposed for the red paint. So when you're planning on how to do a paint job, you see how the blue tanks on the white Freightliner, the blue straps on the chrome tank, same idea. Paint the tank first, mask the tank, spray the straps. You're not going to try and do it the other way. Same with the tank on the Astro. So at least that's how I do it. Your mileage may vary. So the chrome is done. The end caps we'll leave off until the end. Paint the mask the barrels, paint the straps red, and then glue the chrome caps on the end. Should give it a nice effect. What else? When it comes time to mask this off, I was thinking I might sand off, because what kind of is becoming, I don't know, what have I got here? Something has gotten, I don't know what that is. Something has gotten onto the chrome. Well, that may just solve my problem for me. I'm apparently now going to have to sand these off. Whenever you have chrome parts on a tree, no matter how careful you slice them off of the plastic tree, it leaves these marks. It leaves this situation. You got 2 attachment points here and 2 over here, and it just looks really uneven when you put them on your painted truck. You know, it'd be great if these parts were just packed separately, you know, sliced off before they were plated, cleaned up and prepped and plated that way. Or if they would just, at some point I would love it if these model companies would stop plating the parts. That'd probably be a better solution. Just give them to us in the white plastic and let us worry about putting a finish on them, because invariably you get these and it's impossible to take off, you know, to clean that up. You can come back with touch-ups, you know, silver chrome paint, but it just stands out. It ends up looking worse. But as I can see now, there's something has gotten on here. I must have touched this with something on my hand. I don't know when or how, but something got to that. That looks like super glue residue or something fogged it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to clean off this chrome, at least around the surround, around this edge all the way around, and then paint these with my silver paint. We'll leave the face chrome. I'll be masking and masking off these lines, just the straight vertical lines. Mask the edges of the grill here, and then we'll give that a nice black wash, masking the chrome parts. And then yeah, I'm gonna have to gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to paint those now. Didn't want to do that. I did want to leave it chrome, but I can't get that off of there. Something has removed that chrome. So alright, well, my video just changed when I noticed that on the fly here. I did do an unboxing video, but the moment I sat down and started talking, I started hacking and coughing, and you know, I just had a touch of a cold, and for whatever reason, the moment I turned the camera on, I couldn't get a word out sideways. So that tape is scrapped. That video has been scrapped. But this again was the or is, and eventually will be, the AUTOCAR A64B. Let's see if I can show you. I've got parts in here. Oh, that's this one. Right. So we got a long way to go. Order of battle for now is the next step will be getting the wheels ready. I got to give this paint a lot of time to cure. This chrome silver paint takes, well, I'm going to give it two or 3 days anyway. We've got the motor painted up. It's not, I didn't put any glue on it. It must have, there we go. Yeah, got a little tight. This is our Cummins motor. So that's pretty much what I want it to look like. I don't think we'll be adding anything to that. That came out all right. Yeah, and this is our red frame, and progress is ongoing. With this project was started Saturday afternoon. Got started on this one. But since I don't have too much else to do these days, this is where we're at. Right. If you want to see the next project after this one, I did get two. Try and get me at least till the holidays. We're going to do this up as a civilian bike, not as a military. So most of the stuff will not be put on the bike. It's just going to be a straight 40s era civilian Harley. Probably do that up in, it could end up red and black, but possibly in a blue and white. I haven't really decided exactly what the colors are going to be on it. I just know it's going to be a civilian bike. Right, and that's a 1/9 scale, so it's a considerably larger scale than most of what I've been doing. And when we get into that project, we'll do some videos on that one too. Okay, just to keep everybody up to speed on where we're at. So the AUTOCAR for now, the motorbike after that, and then possibly back to work on the P47. I did do a little bit more infill on the wing, on the lower side of the wing. I haven't touched the upper side of the wing yet, but the lower side here, almost done. Again, we're going to be layering balsa on, so there's going to be a 3/32 sheeting going right over the top of this, and that'll be sanded to an airfoil shape. I'm trying to put more of an airfoil underwing profile on that wing. Gillo designed it with a flat bottom airfoil, and that's not accurate to the scale. The actual P-47 was not a flat bottom wing. It had an airfoil shape to it, so we're going to replicate it, or at least try to replicate that. So that's extracurricular activity for the kit, and it's kind of been stalling me as far as how to proceed. I'm dealing with issues around how to handle the wheel wells as I layer over them. So yeah, I'm still working that out. That's why progress on that one is slow. Okie dokie. Nothing else, no news, sports, or weather to report, other than I've got a project on the table and this is it. Appreciate everyone viewing. If you have any questions about this project, please do put them up on the channel and I'll get to them as quick as I can. Not much else to talk about. You guys know how I do the frame layout using the printed lines on the instruction sheets to keep things square. This frame is very much square and flat. As you can see, there's very little movement. I think most of that's because the front axle is not a straight line, it's a little bit bowed, but that's the shape of it. So we've got a nice straight, square and flat ladder frame for our truck. I'll be starting on the wheels pretty soon. This one's odd. It only has chrome front wheels. It doesn't have the chrome dishes for the rear. Those are going to be painted. And since they're on the truck that I'm modeling, they're chrome, I'm going to paint them all chrome, and I'll use the same paint on the front. I don't want the front wheels to look different from the mains, so those chrome front wheels will get a layer of surface primer, and then they'll be painted in the